So we're on off. Good afternoon, folks. Welcome back. To those of you who are here for the meditation and those of you who are not, welcome. We're going to start today. Last week, for those of you who are with us, Gertrude Rinpoche has asked us to focus questions, at least for this session, we'll see how things go, on Shantideva's dedication prayer. So we're actually going to read that together today. It is also a special day, so we gain lots of merit with this recitation. It is in the Blue Prayer Book, for those of you who can find access to that on our resources. If not, it's just a nice opportunity for you to sit and meditate and then listen to the verses as I go through them. So we're on the Blue Prayer Book, page 61. By all the virtue I have now amassed by composition of this book, which speaks of entry to the Bodhisattva way, may every being tread the path to Buddhahood. May beings everywhere who suffer torment in their minds and bodies have, by virtue of my merit, joy and happiness in boundless measure. As long as they may linger in samsara, may their present joy know no decline, and may they taste of unsurpassed beatitude in constant and unbroken continuity. Throughout the spheres and reaches of the world, in hellish states wherever they may be, may beings fettered there, tormented, taste the bliss and peace of Sukhavati. May those caught in the freezing ice be warmed, and from the massing clouds of Bodhisattva prayers, may torrents rain in boundless streams to cool those burning in infernal fires. May forests where the leaves are blades and swords become sweet groves and pleasant woodland glades, and may the trees of miracles appear, supplanting those upon the hill of Shamali. And may the very pits of hell be sweet, with fragrant pools all perfumed with the scent of lotuses, be lovely with the cries of swan and goose, and waterfowl so pleasing to the ear. May fiery coals turn into heaps of jewels, the burning ground become a crystal floor, their crushing hills celestial abodes, adorned with offerings the dwelling place of Buddhas. May the hail of lava, fiery stones, and weapons henceforth become a rain of blossoms. May those whose hell it is to fight and wound be turned to lovers offering their flowers. And those engulfed in fiery Vaitarani, their flesh destroyed, their bones bleached white as kunda flowers, may they through all my merit's strength have godlike forms, and sport with goddesses in Mandakini's peaceful streams. What fear is it, they'll ask, that grips the henchmen of the deadly Lord, the frightful vultures and the carrion crows? What noble strength is it that brings us joy and drives away our dreadful night? And looking skyward, they will see the shining form of Vajrapani. Then may their sins be quenched in joy, and may they go to him. And when they see the seething lava flood of hell, extinguished in a rain of blossoms, drenched in scented water, at once fulfilled in bliss they'll ask, how can this be? And thus the denizens of hell will see the one who holds the lotus. Friends, throw away your fears and quickly gather here. For who is it who comes to banish dread, this youth with bound-up gleaming hair, this loving bodhisattva saving and protecting every being, whose power relieves all pain, increasing joy? Do you see the splendor of his house that echoes praises of 1,000 goddesses, 100 gods who lay their diadems before his lotus feet, the rain of flowers falling on his head, his eyes moist with compassion? Thus may those in hell cry out on seeing Manjughosha. And likewise when, through these my roots of virtue, they see the joyful clouds let fall their cooling scented rain, their obscurations cleansed by bodhisattvas like Samantabhadra, may all those languishing in hell come now to perfect happiness. And may the stooping animals be freed from fear of being preyed upon each other's food, and may the famished spirits have such joy as those who dwell within the northern continent. And may they be replete and satisfied by streams of milk that pour from noble Lord Avalokita's hand, and bathing in it may they be refreshed and cooled. And may the blind receive their sight, and may the deaf begin to hear, and women near their time bring forth, like Maya Devi, free from any pain. And may the naked now be clothed, and all the hungry eat their fill, and may those parched with thirst receive pure waters and delicious drink. May the poor and destitute find wealth, the haggard and the careworn joy. May confidence relieve those in despair, and bring them steadfastness and every excellence. May every being ailing with disease be freed at once from every malady. May all the sickness that afflicts the living be instantly and permanently healed. May those who go in dread have no more fear. May captives be unchained and now set free. And may the weak receive their strength. May living beings help each other in kindness. May travelers upon the road find happiness no matter where they go. And may they gain without the need of toil the goals on which they set their hearts. May those who put to sea in boat or ship attain the ports that they desire, and may they safely come to shore and sweet reunion with kith and kin. May those who lose their way and stray in misery find fellow travelers, and safe from the threat of thieves and savage beasts, be tireless in their journey light. May children and the old, the weak, protectorless, bewildered in the wild and pathless wastes, and those whose minds are dulled, and all who are insane, have pure celestial beings as their guardians. May all attain the human state and be possessed of wisdom, faith, and love, with perfect livelihood and sustenance. May they have mindfulness throughout their lives. May everyone have unrestricted wealth, just like the treasury of space, enjoying it according to their wish, without a trace of harm or enmity. May beings destitute of splendor become magnificent and bright, and those worn down by toil and drudgery acquire great beauty and perfection. May all the women in this world attain the strength of masculinity, and may the lowly come to excellence, the proud and haughty lose their arrogance. And thus by all the merit I have gained, may every being, leaving none aside, abandon all their evil ways, embracing goodness now and evermore. From bodhicitta may they never separate, and constantly engage in bodhisattva's deeds. And may they be accepted as disciples by the Buddhas, and turn aside from what is Mara's work. And may these beings, each and every one, enjoy an unsurpassed longevity, living always in contentment. May the very name of death be strange to them. On every side and in all 10 directions, may groves of wish-fulfilling trees abound, resounding with the sweetness of the teachings spoken by the Buddhas and their bodhisattva children. And may the earth be wholesome everywhere, free from boulders, cliffs, and chasms, flat and even like a level palm, and smooth like lapis lazuli. And for many circles of disciples, may multitudes of Buddhas, bodhisattvas rise in every land, adorning them with every excellence. From birdsong and the sighing of the trees, from shafts of light, and from the sky itself, may living beings, each and every one, perceive the constant sound of Dharma. May they come into the presence of the Buddhas and meet with the bodhisattvas, offspring of the same. With clouds of offerings unbounded, may the teachers of the world be worshipped. May kindly spirits bring the rains on time, for harvest to be rich and plentiful. May princes rule according to the truth, and may the world be blessed with all prosperity. May medicines be strong and full of virtue. May healing spells be chanted with success. May spirits of the air that feed on flesh be kind, their minds imbued with pity. And let no being ever suffer pain. Let them neither ill nor languish, never doing evil. May they have no fear nor suffer insults, and may their minds be ever free from sorrow. In monasteries, temples, and the like, may reading and reciting widely flourish. May harmony prevail among the Sangha, and may its purpose be all fulfilled. May ordained monks intent upon the practice find perfect places for retreat and solitude, abandon every vagrant thought, and meditate with trained and serviceable minds. May nuns have all their wants supplied. May quarreling and vindictiveness be strange to them. Let all who have embraced monastic life uphold a pure and unimpaired observance. May they feel regret when discipline is broken, and always may they strive to cleanse away their faults. May they thus obtain a fortunate rebirth wherein to undertake unfailing discipline. May the wise and learned be revered, and always be sustained by offerings. With minds suffused with purity, may their renown spread far and wide. May beings never languish in the lower realms. May pain and hardship be unknown to them. Enjoying more than godlike strength and beauty, may Buddhahood for them be swiftly gained. Again and yet again, may sentient beings make offerings to all the Buddhas, and with the Buddha's unimagined bliss, may they enjoy undimmed and constant happiness. May all the Bodhisattvas now fulfill their high intention for the sake of beings, and sentient beings likewise now receive the good that Buddhas have in store for them. And may the Arhats and the Predika Buddhas at length attain their perfect happiness. And may I also, through Manjushri's kindness, reach the ground of perfect joy, and through the stream of all my lives, embrace monastic ordination. Thus may I abide sustained by simple ordinary fare, and in every life obtain a dwelling place in perfect solitude. Whenever I desire to gaze on him or put to him the slightest question, may I behold the unobstructed vision of Manjughosha, my protector. To satisfy the needs of beings dwelling in the 10 directions to the margins of the sky, may I reflect in every deed the perfect exploits of Manjushri. And now, as long as space endures, as long as there are beings to be found, may I continue likewise to remain, to drive away the sorrows of the world. The pains and sorrows of all wandering beings, may they ripen wholly on myself, and may the virtuous company of bodhisattvas bring about the happiness of beings. May the doctrine only remedy for suffering, the source of every bliss and happiness, be nurtured and upheld with reverence, and throughout a vast continuance of time endure. And now to Manjughosha I prostrate, whose kindness is the wellspring of my good intent, and to my virtuous friends I also bow, whose inspiration gave me strength to grow. So now we'll go around. We'll have questions from those who are here at GBI, and then those of you who are online, you can raise your hand. And we also have questions via email. So we'll start here at GBI. Does anybody have a question? They're coming.
Hello, thank you, Khenpo Tenzin. So I had a question regarding the prayer because I noticed that Manjushri has 2 names in this, and I was wondering why he was called Manjughosha at one point and then Manjushri in another.
Yes, thank you. Manjushri has actually over 100 names, more than 100 names. Actually, each and every names are the kind of definition or explaining about the qualities of Manjushri. And then when we say Manjushri means Medicine Buddha is wisdom Buddha. So then his preaching, his teachings are very melodious. That means all the prayers, all the Buddha's teachings are Manjushri's voice. So then we call that Manjushri's voice is very melodious and beautiful because there is a very kind of beneficial words, beneficial speech, something like that. So that's where also we call Manjushri is a represent of all the Buddha's speech. And then Manjung Goka or Ngosha Dharma means is like a hero. In Dharma words in Tibetan is jumper Pavo. Pavo means hero. Hero. Why do we call hero him? To him is he has special courage to eliminate self-grasping and self-cherishing and ignorance and so forth. For that reasons, we call Manzu Gosha or Gokha. And also, in many eons ago, then Manjushri he accumulated inconceivable merit when he was a human being. So that's where he can accumulate each and every single merit through for body, through for speech, through mind, and he could purify each and every non-virtues. That's why we call him Manjung Gokha or Gosha. So the differences are there. It's clear? Thank you.
So does anybody online have a question about the Shantideva text? If not, we will come back around with questions, other questions. Okay, so I have a couple questions from email. So Khenpo, regarding prayer number 49, my question is concerning, it is about fulfilling our highest intention. How do we know what we should be doing to fulfill our higher intention? Mm-hmm. Verse 49.
So that is, first I briefly explain that. May all the bodhisattvas now fulfill their higher attention for the sake of beings, and sentient beings likewise now receive the good the Buddhas have in store for them. That one, yeah? Number one, yes. So bodhisattvas there are actually three kinds of bodhisattvas. One is like a shepherd. So this commitment or promised that first I'm going to liberate all sentient beings from samsara, and then after that I'm going to become enlightened. Another types of bodhisattva is like king. That means first I'm going to become enlightened, and then I'm going to benefit other beings. And then another one is like I forgot the names, who drove a boat in the ocean. So many people are carrying in the boat, and then I and those people together wanted to cross the ocean or river. But all of bodhisattvas has a special commitment that benefit other beings. All the bodhisattvas always take this responsibility that I'm going to benefit other beings through their body, speech, and mind. So how do we know that is actually it's quite difficult to know exactly, or that is bodhisattva, that is not bodhisattva, for example, in our human brothers and sisters. But of course, we understand that 8 great bodhisattvas like Vajrapani and so forth, And then, but there is a say in the teaching, uh, the Bodhisattvas we can understand through their kind of actions, and their yeah, that is the clear one, very clear one. We and we understand the Bodhisattvas, who is Bodhisattva and who isn't, through their actions. That means even one person walk on the ground and there is a small bug, and then that person tried to save it. For example, in the water there is falling a butterfly, and try to, or being try to remove that outside of this water, something like that. And even in the airport, there is one is so once time is running out. That means one um, how to say, one is very rush, but still someone ask question, where is the terminal 4 or 6 or 8, something like that. Still they say, oh, I don't have time, or something like that. They say, oh, go this one, that one, even through one words or two words. So through this way we can understand, and then also their behavior and their motivation and their speech, so forth. We can understand those who are Bodhisattva sattvas. And then Bodhisattvas has a great mind, a great mind that we are going to Bodhisattvas say and think that we are going to benefit all of these beings because they are our parents. So, and then also uh, uh, we recite that. That means we. This is important one. Okay, we recite this prayer. That means we support to Bodhisattvas. Bodhisattvas say, I am going to benefit others. I'm going to help others. And then we recite this. At that time, we support them. And we supplicate and we pray. The power of our prayers also benefit Bodhisattvas. They accomplish quickly their wish. Their wish accomplish quickly. And yeah, I think that's.
Thank you, Khenpo. Another question was about verse 9, which is, may the hail of lava, fiery stones, and weapons henceforth become a rain of blossoms. May those whose hell it is to fight and wound be turned to lovers offering their flowers. Just a question on clarification, verse 9.
Verse 9?
9.
Oh, yeah. That's this prayer is very unique, and also this is very kind of special prayer because it says, "May hell realm transform nirvana," something like that. So then, can we transform the hell realm into the nirvana or not? Or kind of this kind of those kind of weapons transform into flowers or not? That definitely we can do through our prayers, the power of prayers. Prayer is part of speech, part of teaching. So, for example, one person is in front of me, and that person says, "I'm a headache." Okay, and then I don't have any medicine, modern medicine or kind of a traditional medicine, and I don't have anything. I don't have a water or something like that. And then how should I help that person? I say, just watch the feeling of this headache, or you just perceive that your head is emptiness and that emotion is emptiness, and at that moment that person meditate on it. At that moment that person listening 100%. So then that person do it, and if it cannot completely recover from this disease headache, but at that moment perhaps it it changed that emotion or feeling, perhaps it reduced that feeling of painful feeling. So that's likewise we recite this, and then those beings who are in the hell realm, then at that moment their attention changes. We can change their attention, so that's where they will not experience like these very kind of harmful experiences in the hell realm. But then if briefly I explain about that, uh, uh, there is a, because of our karmas. For example, two mountains, their shape is like a ships, ship, ships, animal ships. Two ships, they uh, they are fighting. That we see, yeah, we see sometimes the ships and the mountain gods. They fight with the between head to head attack like this way. So some beings in the hell realm, they feels very two very huge two mountains coming, and then it scutes between these two mountains, and then uh, it's like we scutes butter in our hands. So all the bones and flesh, everything, how to say, uh, is how to say, kind of a chopstick, or it it scutes,
Squeeze.
squeeze between two huge mountains. So that karma actually come from that karmic fruition, come from the divisive speech, especially between sanghas and so forth. So then some is there's a the lavas, means the lavas, there are like a fire outside. We are look there is like a dirt. We can't see so much fire, but then our legs, we start to walk. We walk on there in this lava, and then it burns our legs. So then this prayer says, may this lavas turned into the jewels. That means what is our plan? What is the Bodhisattva's plan? Is hell realm transformed into nirvana. And the hell realm, there are as this prayer says, there are very serious the conditions of suffering. They transform into the kind of very beneficial and beautiful and so forth. So then they have many kind of serious conditions in the hell realm, but they all come from our mind. And if you ask why are they, or do they, maybe are they coming from our mind, because in our mind has lots of imprinting. So these imprintings open, and then we experience these sufferings. So that's why these bodhisattvas plan is they turned these hell realm into the nirvana or pure land or nice place, beautiful places or beautiful land. And then we recite it. At that time we support to bodhisattvas. Even some bodhisattvas have planned to turn hell realm into nirvana, and then if they are distracted with the other things, and then our prayer then awaken them, and we remind them, oh, it is right time to transform the hell realm into nirvana, something like that. Briefly answers that. Okay.
Thank you, Khenpo. One last question or so from either in person or online. Please raise your hand on Shantideva.
Oh yeah.
We have someone in person.
Yes, Khenpo, I wanted to ask about number 11. It says, what noble strength is that brings us joy and drives away our dreadful night, and looking forward skyward they will see the shining form of Vajrapani. Then may their sins be quenched in joy, and may they go to him. What exactly did they mean by that? Like in what way?
So actually this first they're mentioning about the hell realm. There are 18 different types of hell realm. 18. So some is the water. That water we cannot cross, and then we sink in this water, and then these the beings who are sinking, sinks in that river or water, then that being cannot freed from this that water. And then but then some waters are is slightly different lavas, but some water is not just a water, is fire, but it's liquid. And then somebody sinks in that water, and those beings experience two kind of sufferings. One is suffering of fire, from fire, and one sufferings from water. So if we sink in the water, then nowadays many people understand how to swim. Otherwise, it's very kind of suffering if one doesn't understand how to swim. And then that kind of being often experience that until separate from that place. And then another is then Dharma is all this the flesh and body becomes like a, it's called rooting. The fruits become older. What's called
Rotten.
rotting. And then it's loose each and every part. It's, if suddenly die there, it's pretty okay, but can't. It's a kind of a small piece from the fingers, and then hand, arms, step by step. There are extensive suffering. So then this Buddhist Shantideva's prayer is, it says, the power of my prayer or my bodhicitta, and and then my action, then those beings who experiences in those uh, very vast river, and also like a river of the fire, maybe I think, and then those who sink in there, and those whose body separately, how to say, loose, floating through the each and every piece, then may they found a special body that is like a body of a gods. So body of a god is very much related to the light, luminosity or light. So that's where their body is very fresh, clean, beautiful, and the almost inconceivable beauties and great qualities. And then may they found this body. That means their body transformed into the body forms of gods. And then their place is like the fire river. They transform into goddesses. So in the gods realm, the handsome gods and beautiful goddesses always enjoy until they finish their those great karma. So that's where, so it does suddenly, this prayer does not say suddenly may you become Buddha. It's kind of impossible at that moment. But it says may you. It's a very possibility thing. It's mentioned a very possibility thing that may you become found a God's body and something like that form. So that is why very possibility. Why is that a very possibility? Because when in Shakyamuni Buddha, his previous life, one time he was in the hell realm, and then he was pulling very heavy things, and then at that time, he and his friend pull very heavy things in the heat, extremely heat, the pulling, pull very heavy things. At that time, Buddha's previous life being, he little bit feels compassion to his partner because of sweat, and then it's 24/7 they experience like that. He slightly feels compassion, and then he said, "I will do it. You stop to do it." And then the retinues of Lord of Death, then how to say, hit the hammer on his head, and then he died there. So the power of his moment compassion, he rebirthed in the God's realm. So from the hell realm, rebirth to God is a very possibility. So that's why this prayer say that. Okay, thank you.
All right, so online we have Vicky. Vicky, you can unmute yourself, but I also have the question in the chat. Which would you prefer? Do you want me to read that?
No, I'm going to ask a question about the Shantidevas.
Thank you.
So verse 26, it says, "May children and the old, the weak, protectorless, bewildered in the wild and pathless waste, and those whose minds are dulled, and all who are insane have pure celestial beings as their guardians." So yeah, I'm having questions about those minds are dull and who are insane. How can these beings be helped? It seemed like they can't quite practice Dharma, maybe. And if that's the case, how can they, generate merit and produce good karma and all that?
Yes, actually, of course, we can discuss about this, and we have a plan to teach on there. At that time, I am going to uh, explain vividly or details. But the number one is, for example, uh, some refugees. Refugees cross the border or some places. Probably some came illegally. But and then here for me, or they came illegally, and I'm here. I have not now no any other power, something like that. And then how can I help those beings? In other hand, it's true I can't do anything. But other hand, probably uh, there is uh, democracy, so uh, we can talk something, we can say something, we can explain something. Through this way, there are lots of things, good things happen, something like that. That is an example. Those beings actually did not practice at that moment, but the power of bodhisattvas, and then they pray and says, may they put safe by, for example, Dharma protectors. And then Dharma protectors already a commitment that I am. They promised in front of Shakyamuni Buddha and Guru Pema Sambhava. They say, I will protect Buddhism. But it does not mean they just keep some volumes in their house, hut or house. It means they are protect Dharma practitioners. That's where we can confidently we can send them, and we can call them, we can tell them, protect them, help them. So that's why for likewise, so we we pray and we recite. There are a few powers gathering. Number one is the power of a prayer, and one's bodhicitta, power of one's bodhicitta. And the second power is the power of interdependence. Interdependence. Power of interdependence is like I say, hello, good morning. Only these words I can make happy someone in the early morning. I say good morning. It's just words, but these words can make happy other people's mind. That's why they say good morning. Likewise, this we say, may they protected by the spirits gods or Dharma protectors, and then it has a interdependent power of this interdependence. Then combined with the power of my bodhicitta and my prayer. And then another power is the power of the true nature. True nature. Dharma means the those beings who are asleep, for example, falling in sleep, or become very crazy or something like that, and some are very child, so they don't know what is right and wrong at that moment. Then still they possess Buddha nature. So they have a Buddha nature, and then their Buddha nature and the power of their Buddha nature, and then the power of bodhicitta, power of prayers. So then they come together, and after that they comes together, and then spontaneously it become very kind of a correct form, very excellent form. For example, another example is I go to the Home Depot and buy a very small piece of wood, and then I combine them correctly, it becomes a house. So likewise, there are many kind of power of interdependence, power of true nature, and the power of the one's wisdom, or kind of this bodhicitta and so forth. So then it can benefit them. So yeah.
Thank you, Khenpo. We have a question from here in person.
Yes.
Thank you, Khenpo. I want to ask you to explain more about phrase 56.
56, yeah. Oh, yes. That can you read that for the sake of? Oh, I will read. It's okay. I will 56. Yeah. Thank you. 56 is it says, the pains and sorrows of all wandering beings, may their wrapping holy, WHOLLY, holy, on myself, and may the virtues company of bodhisattvas bring about the happiness of beings. So then any kind of, that means any kind of other beings suffering, may I experience. So this is that's where the first we talked about the Manjungoka or Manjungoka. So that means they have special kind of courage, courage or encouragement, maybe courage, yeah, special kind of power in the mind, special decision, and then and then it says the sang. Actually, if I literally says explain that, right now I'm looking into the Tibetan roots of Shantideva. Okay, so these great bodhisattvas, may they make happy all beings, something like that. May they bring all beings on the stage of happiness, for example. So this part is there is two way. Some say if you are not ready, you don't bring others suffering on your body or in your life. It's kind of Tongling, practice taking and giving. There is a story. One Lama master, he stay on the throne and teaching, gives teaching, and then all the sangha stay around him, in front of him. In the corner of some area, there was a dog, and then one person just pick up a small stone and then throw that stone, and it hit the dog. And then that master immediately takes the pain feeling of the pain from dog, and then he said ara. That is the Tibetan language. Ara is the another language that pain hurts, something like that. And then in front of there some disbelief, that means they could not believe it. And then he showed that exactly somebody hit the stone to the dog, exactly that same size of the stone, in same place there is some kind of scar or the sign. So that's where he says ara that is not a sweet sound, not sweet sound. That means he could not be patient. So taking others' suffering, that means one should be ready. Otherwise, sometimes regret. There is another story. Some says this is the what's called Arya Deva. So somebody asked eyes, and then one person doesn't has this one red eye, and then they ask to give your eye, and then he gave his right eye, and then that person just put on the ground and he jumped on there. He stepped on this eyeball, and then the sound is like this, and then he shocked. What are you doing? And he replied, I don't want your eyeball, but I'm going to listen only that sound. And then he totally regret. He regret that, oh, it is not right. I did mistake. So that's where for that karmic result, then his one eye could not recover. But another Bodhisattva, we call it Temikinding. I listened that story. I cannot stop to cry. Not only me. At that time I was very small. Many people. It's melodies is sweet, and there are long story. But the main thing is he gave his eyeballs. But after that, he did not regret. He joyfully gave that. So the power of those merit, his eyes recovered again. So there's a lot of stories. But then, in this case, still we can recite this prayer. And how should we bring others' suffering in our life is. For example, we practice only taking and giving. We give all of our powers, virtues, benefit, merits, and good thing, good phenomena. And we bring all of those sufferings, problems, obstacles through inhaling, or we bring them in our mind. And then we are going to say emptiness. It's like samaya ja, samaya seal. That means we are going to dissolve into the emptiness. Then any single problems cannot bother us in our life. So, but then this the meaning of this prayer says, may there have many great bodhisattvas, and may those bodhisattvas help those beings who are suffering. For example, one location there are lots of suffering, and then we say, may that place has many bodhisattvas, and they take away all of those sufferings, and those beings will not suffering. Something like that. Okay? Thank you.
Okay, and so I have a question that was sent in via email, but I believe it's from Eleanor, who's here. Yes, I think. Eleanor, you sent in? Okay. So Eleanor's question is, there's a dedication prayer by Lord Jiten Sumgun that is in essence saying that we do not want the result to end up in the 8 worldly concerns, the 4 causes of samsara, or rebirth as a Shravaka or Pratya Buddha. Her question is really about why would being reborn as a Shravaka or Pratya Buddha be such a bad thing?
Yes, actually, Shravakas and Practical Buddhas are excellent. So that's where we need to understand there are very clearly some importance. So, for example, practical Buddhas. Practical Buddhas are great and excellent. But what happened is they stuck somewhere. For instance, they gained some realization, and they thought that is ultimate truth. They realized that is the final stage, and then they don't try to achieve another, like a bhumis or another stage. And their highest stage is like a seventh bhumi. The Bodhisattvas who reach on the seventh bhumi, but still they are going to reach 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, according to the Suttarayana. According to Tantric, this Vajrayana, still they are going to reach 13th bhumi. Otherwise, they cannot completely attain Buddhahood. The problem is one day they will turn back in the samsara. For example, right now we all achieve precious human life, so seems it's okay. We don't practice Dharma. We have food, we eat, we have friends, we have cars, we have a house, we have clothes, and we can talk. We can. Seems it's okay. Just we just spend with this our life with these phenomena, but death is coming. Death will come to us. At that time, our clothes, our properties, and those phenomena try to help us, try to follow us, but they can't. They can't. So, at that time, if we don't have Dharma, again, we will experience another suffering. For similarly, practical Buddhas reached higher stage, more higher stage than our precious human life. But one day they came back because of the law of karma. For that reason, we say practical Buddhas, Sharvikas, we were not stuck there. It does not mean we are looking down them. It means we have a big and higher hope that we are going to reach the highest stage, that is complete enlightenment. Okay.
Thank you, Khenpo.
Thank you, Khenpo.
Sorry, Eleanor. Yes. So we just have a few more minutes. We have one more question. Next one is from in here at GBI.
Yeah.
Hello, Khenpo. I have a quick question about the meditation we were doing before.
Oh, yes.
So my question is, when we meditate, I come to the point when observing the thoughts, I can see like the thoughts become kind of lazy. So they start to form, but they do not form completely. And they disappear without forming completely. And then there is just this feeling of awareness that observes it. So at this point, do we just rest in this state, or do we focus on awareness itself, on awareness that observing the mind? That's my question. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's I really believe we all can experience, and even myself. So it makes more relaxed, and yeah, it makes more relaxed. It helps me to more relax. So then my answer is yes and no. Number one is uh, number one is all the thoughts, you are right. All the thoughts are like a water bubbles, just come, and then when we look at that, then it's like there's the water bubble occurs or comes in the corner of the river, and then we have a small kind of a grass, and just we press on this water bubble, and then this water bubble disappear. Likewise, thoughts come and watch it disappear, watch disappear. So then at that moment that means we are free from thought. So that's number one. So you can maintain there longer, maybe 1 hour or 2 hours. So that is very helpful. Actually, that's very very helpful. And then another one is, as you said, shall we attention about the awareness or that part? Yes, actually, eventually we are going to. Otherwise, inside has some fixation. So we can remove our thoughts through watching the thoughts, but still we cannot purify some fixation through the attention or mindfulness. So eventually we start to watch this attention itself, and then it becomes like a vivid and brilliant, something like that, brilliant light or something like that. Okay, thank you so much.
All right, Khenpo,
Yeah.
so that's it for today.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much, all of you. And then just we recite this. Recite when you give rise bodhicitta in your mind. Okay. Chanjo semjo rembo je ma je ban na je 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 ba nyam ba me ba ya gone gonde pe wa jo. Okay, thank you so much, all of you again. And there are 58 verses in the Shantideva's dedication. So we are going to make 58 bodhisattvas in each day when we recite this. So make efforts to make many bodhisattvas, okay?
Thank you, Khenpo, and thanks to everyone who's been able to join us. Just a reminder that we will not be hosting the Dharma discussion next week because we have an in-person event. So the next Dharma discussion will be Sunday, August 4th. Thanks so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day, evening, or night.